this gave me a chance to sort of open myself more, open my mind more, and be more accepting, receiving of myself. It gave me a space to sort of look at things like, looking at my hair, it's not something that you talk about often, but look, when I think about my hair, in terms of work, often it's difficult for me to get work because of my hair. And I found that because of that, sometimes it's difficult for me to get work because of my hair, and it's really hard to want to feel like you're a talented person, but regardless of what you're capable of, sometimes you're judged before you've even had a chance to show that. And it gave me an opportunity to really sort of re-examine the way I look at myself and the way I receive, the way other people look at me. Also, I think in a lot of ways I realized certain things about myself, having worked with the girls. I realized certain things about myself so far as where I've come from and where I am now, how much I've grown, how much I haven't grown, how much I still have to learn. And I found that where I am now is sort of a place of transition. And I know in the piece, there's a chair dance that we do, and in the chair dance, it's about that aha moment. And I feel like in a way, in the process of doing this course, I've been going through a process where I am coming to certain realizations about myself as a woman, as a dancer, and in terms of my place in society. And I feel like this piece has been a part of coming to the realization of that aha moment.
Great. Just thinking about the dance process overall, how has it affected you? What has it made you think about in particular?
It's made me more aware of, not necessarily if I just think about hair or the actual process of dancing, it's made me more aware of small things that actually have a much greater impact on our lives than what is on the surface, I was saying how hair is something that, we do every day, but if you talk about somebody and say to them, yes, I'm doing choreography on hair, they think, oh wow, is there really depth in that? But actually the point is that there really is. And if you sit down and think about it, the influence that your own hair and your own hair has on your own life, in terms of what you use your hair for, it really is quite a significant part of who you are, and I guess also who you want to be.
Great.
Was sort of, because I'd already started thinking about, through my anthropological studies, about how patriarchal society is and how the West influences Africa. And I guess this just brought that into sharper focus, specifically with, in terms of appearance. So it's sort of looking at how, looking at the perpetuation of patriarchal and Western aesthetic hegemonies, but looking at sort of hair as the microcosm for the macrocosm of South African society, I guess. Yeah.
It was a bit challenging at first because I've never done it before, but I quite liked it. It was very different, comes from within, it's easy to do and remember things, so it was very nice.
Okay, good. Now, the other question I wanted to ask you was, what has it made you think about this dance? How has it affected your thoughts?
This dance has made me think about hair a lot. Like when I see people wearing different hairstyles, I kind of think about why did they decide to have that kind of hairstyle on, and it also has changed me as a person. because I've started to allow my hair to become the way it wants to be, natural, strong, beautiful, like Tumi says in her speech. And yeah, it has really changed me and affected the way I look at people's hair.
Have you talked about this with anybody else?
Yes, almost every time I talk to my friends about it, and sometimes people are confused, like, hey, how can you make a dance on hair? Because hair is like, yeah, there's not much you can say on hair, but there's actually a lot. Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. So, just tell me a little bit about how the experience of this class was different from other dance classes that you've done.
So it's very different in a way that with Cherry you had to make your own moves. Like we basically choreographed the piece because we all put something in, and it was about how you feel and the relationship that I have with my hair. And yeah, we all talked about it, and it was very different actually. It was more personal for me, I think, because I struggle with my hair from, like, since you born me, I struggle with my hair.
Was it more difficult to do this?
It was, yeah, kind of, because I'm not the kind of person who can express my emotions easily. So it was kind of different. But also okay, because you do it in dancing and talking, so yeah.
Great.
Like with my chair dance, I started off sitting in a very relaxed position on my chair, the way that we see a normal chair. And that was the way, I took that as the way I've always seen my hair, and that's where I was comfortable. And then when I got to university, I started to live with black women for the first time. Because my mom, she was always nonplussed by my hair. She didn't really know, how to deal with it. So there's this sort of one huge matted dreadlock on the top of my head until I learned to deal with it myself. But still, like a mushroom clown, if you will. So when I came to university, I was living with black women for the first time. And that was when I really started to learn about my own hair. And even then it was a little different because, I'm mixed race, it's got a bit of white, it's got a bit of black, So my ideas about my hair started to change, and I sort of was looking back on the way I used to think about my hair and like the styles I used to, and I was so clueless. And so that was me sort of, playing with the chair, sort of reevaluating my stance on hair and how I feel about my hair, and, so like the first time I got braids was in first year. I've never relaxed my hair. And, the piece just sort of made me a little bit more aware that now this is me comfortable, this is me natural, this is very much Tuli at the moment. And that was me settling back onto the chair, but the chair was in a completely different position. It was still the chair, but it was a different position, and I was still comfortable in that chair. And I don't know, I've always been sort of aware of it, but I guess doing the piece has just made me a little bit more aware about the perpetuation of Western and patriarchal male hegemonies, like aesthetic hegemonies, and how we just need to be more aware of them so that we don't become a victim of them. Like, this hair it should be socially acceptable for a girl to have short, natural hair. It doesn't have to be long and feminine and whatever for me to still be a woman. And it's just made me a little bit more aware of that, which I think is really cool. And I think we mustn't forget the things that we've learned in this piece.
One of the things my mom always says to me on Women's Day is "a luta continua," and that means the struggle continues. And I think when I was younger, I sort of got it, but I never really got it as much as I do at this point in my life. I've really started to grasp what she meant when she keeps saying to me, "a luta continua."
In Tugwell. and they were laughing about their friends who had only white friends. So they said, you know, those girls that hang out with like the white kids and they go swimming with their hair, like natural hair, and they get it and they think it's just fine. And I was just sitting there and I was like, that was I was the first kid that really didn't know the so-called black hair protocol or whatever it is. Because I just used to, you know, I would just dive into the pool with no filter in my hair. Exactly.
Make sure that you come up, it stinks. And your name is another picture. You always stand with your head outside. You see? Make sure only the